Oh my god! So here at the State of Survival, we just want to let you folks know this is our first impressions of the game as it literally just came out 2 days ago to Early Access Steam. This is a isometric co-op open world survival based zombie game with tons of new features probably coming in the future, and already right out of the gate it is quite an interesting thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So right away, they show you that a disclaimer warning letting you know this is an early access, there are going to be bugs and other issues, and they actively tell you and want you to report these bugs and other issues and suggestions to them. They have a active Discord already, they're responding to people on social media, and lots of other sources. So make sure you actively engage and show support to make this game even better. So overall, my first impressions on it as an early access game on initial release is that this game is actually not half bad. Yeah, it has some of its own kinks, and some things need to be more polished, but for an early access game on the initial release, this is quite a well-polished first push to Steam, and I'm quite pleased with it. The graphics look really nice. You can see right here we have a good grass texture, a good dirt texture, and a concrete texture. I would say that there's a little bit of a hard line in the dirt and the concrete, but that's okay. The character animation's pretty nice, although look a little bit, blocky or a little bit janky. Not a whole lot, but you can see a little bit of it. For isometric view, I actually don't think this is much of an issue. You can zoom in pretty far, zoom out pretty nicely. One of the things that I like is you can see clearly, you can search this van when you walk up to it. When you hover over items, there's a clear UI. The inventory UI itself is really clean. Our inventory is on the right-hand side. The inventory for the item we're looking at is on the middle, and then our character inventory is on the left. It's really cool. They give clear control inside of the hover UI, which is very nice. And as you can see that I'm able to walk around. I have inventory, we have crafting, we have skills, and we have stats. I was able to equip the screwdriver by just clicking on it, reading the tips inside the hover UI. And I kind of like the fact that I can rotate the camera using Q and T, or I can move it around with my cursor if I do that settings. The other nice feature is when I entered the building right there, you can see it automatically zoomed in. Now, I did have trouble figuring out how to equip this bat. It was kind of frustrating until I pushed F, which they tell you to push F, so I was kind of being silly in that moment. It's really easy to search things. You just push F to search them. There is no, search time or timer to search an item, and I actually like that. When I open up something, I should be able to pick it up right away. And it's cool that there are inventory slots and then there are weapon slots. So make sure you're always looking for that weapon slot area inside of the items you're searching, because it's pretty easy to miss it if you're not paying attention. It's more of my problem than it is the, I would say the dev's problem. You can only carry 3 items, one in your hand, 3 weapons, one in your hand and 2 on your character. Now, I did have trouble figuring out how to pick this backpack up and equipped it. I can search it, but I had to actually push and hold F to put it on my character. This is also a problem when you find other backpacks and stuff. You can't easily switch them out by just pushing and holding F, and I think that would be kind of a nice thing to have later on, the ability to push and hold F to hot swap things. Yeah, people might leave items behind and stuff, but I think it would be kind of a nice thing. Later on, I was able to fight some of the zombies, and the combat is actually quite nice. It depends on what kind of weapon you're using, so there is a length to weapon damage, which is really nice. And it seems like there's a optimal place to hit with weapons too. And everything in this game has a quantity, and that quantity degrades the more you use it, especially melee or other kind of items. So that's really nice to hear, because it's going to make you go out and look for these kind of items more and more, especially, again, melee weapons and or other forms of stuff. The crafting system in this game is actually pretty easy to understand. You just have to find materials, go into the crafting menu, and put it there, and you can craft what you need. I would say vehicles are overall pretty simple. All you have to do is run up to a car, open up the hood, and it will be in the middle there. It will show you what it has and what it's missing. And mind you, when you first play this game and you open a vehicle and it has nothing in the slots, it may not be 100% easy to figure out what goes there, but if you know anything about cars, you'll figure it out pretty easily. Once I did that, I was able to find some parts, fill it up, and I was able to get into the car right away, start it up. The car UI is pretty simple. Lower left-hand corner, it has the gas gauge and a couple of other situations, and on the right-hand corner is the quantity or the quality of the car. So the quality of the car also matters, so you can have really good parts in the car, full tank of gas, and if you mess up your car real bad, it will start to smoke and situation. Another key thing to note is that the driving was very smooth. The driving is camera locked, where it is an isometric view from the back of the car to the front, and you can't really move your camera around, but the car does move the camera as you steer it, which is really nice. Do be careful when you're running over Zeds, as it does decrease the quality of your car. I found out the hard way. And if you run over too many Zeds at too high of speeds, you can flip your car. And trying to flip the car back over is quite difficult, so you can put yourself in quite an interesting situation. I myself was not able to flip my own car over with a truck that I found and fixed up, so I had to kind of put everything in the back of the truck. Overall, I think this game is really cool. There's quite a few interesting things, like you can find notes about past survivors. There's lots of crafting. I did not get a chance. So right away, the menu is very clean. It is a tile format with a topic, an image, and description. It has the 6 tiles here: single player, multiplayer, scenario, survival guide, settings, patch notes. It is to be noted that scenario is locked. It may open up in the future. I absolutely love this format. Let's go ahead and take a look at settings. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the settings this game does offer. So we have 4 options. It's a black and white scheme, very easy to read. We have all these options. My favorite one is the quality. You can reduce it down if you need to. And then the audio is really nice because the sound effects and ambient music can all be separated, which I absolutely love because sometimes the gunshots are quite loud. Then we have our gameplay. The gameplay is really cool. Right off the bat, you can see that there is a permadeath option. I absolutely love that this is right away. Then you have your cursor size and cursor color, which you can only see in-game. Then we have the patch notes. We're going to put the patch notes in the future. We have the survival guide. The survival guide has a basic intro. I suggest you actually read it. It helps when the early game and you getting to understand the game better. There are some more detailed things on the left-hand side, and you can review the survival guide when you are inside the game itself. Then we have our multiplayer. The multiplayer has a recommended of 4 players. The server list shows up on the right-hand side, and the most highest players I've ever seen is 12 players on one server. The more players you have on your server, the more CPU and demand is on your PC. On the left-hand side, you can see where you can manage your character saves and other things, and then finally you can customize your character and create it when joining a server. And then finally we have our single player, so let's go ahead and click on it and get right into it. So here is our single player. Our single player has the managed saves over here. You can already see I have dump graw learning. Then we have our character, kind of relaxing, customization. And then we have our professions down here. Now, I'm not going to read the professions, but I am going to go through them for you real quick. Make sure you pause if you wish to read them. But they all have their own skills and bonuses to using them with a description before the bonuses. Bonuses are always at the end of the description. So we have ourselves unemployed, mechanic, junior biodiesel researcher, emergency medical technician, apprentice gunsmith, amateur boxer, farmer, food service worker, Sunday fisherman, car salesman, outdoorsman, and back to unemployed. The customization of this is quite easy. You just click customize. It's very basic. You can choose between 2 types of people. You have your face, which you can change very easily. Then you have your skin color, if you wish to change that. Facial hair. And then you can save your presets here. So FD preset. And then when I click on it, if I click randomize, you can randomize your character too. And if you click FD, it goes back to it, which is really nice. So once you have that saved, all you have to do is go over here and go for video. And then just click start game. And it asks you if you wish to play the tutorial. The game does have a tutorial, which is really helpful. I would suggest if you folks really want to learn how to play this game, do the tutorial. If not, that survival guide that showed you in the main menu is always there. So let's go ahead and click no to it because I've already played this game. And it brings you straight to a settings menu, which is really nice to see right away. It's not forcing you for the first push of the early access to whatever they said is default. They actually gave you control over the game a bit. So we have permadeath, we already talked about that, which is beautiful. You can take that on or off. There are airdrops in the games. It looks like the airdrops are enabled as soon as the radio tower is put back on. You can turn on respawn loot. It has it for airdrops every so many days. Then you have your loot rarity, respawn time for loot, zombie difficulty, AI difficulty. I'm guessing the AI just means it gets smarter going through windows, doorways, busting down doors, that kind of stuff. Then there's a zombie amount multiplier, which if you ever played Project Zomboid, you know what that does. It's really fun. You have your starting season. And then you have how many days will happen in-game before a season changes. And then here, if you move the slider on the left, you'll see that it says day 30 and night 30. This is 30 minutes day, 30 minutes night. If you want it to be more daytime than nighttime, you can. But every day is 60 minutes of gameplay. I did play this game for a couple hours on my stream, and I have played a couple hours off. And overall, I'm enjoying this initial release of HumanitZ. It's a very well-polished release, and I'm looking forward to its future updates. They have been very vocal in their own Discord, answering people, talking to everyone, and I think that's a very good quality for a game that just came out like this, them being right out there listening to people wanting to hear stuff. If you go into their Discord, they have tons of ways for you not only to share your own content, talk to them, but give feedback, and also work on things. Overall, I would say that this is one of the better releases of an early access survival game I've seen in quite a while, and I'm very happy with it, and compliments to them. Folks, if you actually end up liking this video and enjoying it, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are constantly covering more survival games, and we run a podcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. every other week, and I hope to see you folks there. Bye for now.